Hi friends, Alex is here. I first received here is such a huge parcel weighing 17 kilograms. Let's open it and see what's in it. Film with huge air bubbles. Wow! This is a 3D printer JGAurora A5S. 3D printer provided for review by the official store of JGAurora on AliExpress. A link to the product page will leave in the description below this video. Let's see what's in the box. Here at once we see a sheet with information to support the users. The box was dropped on this corner. It's nice that the printer comes with a filament coil weighing 250 grams. Vacuum packaging, PLA plastic, color orange. The coil is very high quality. Two flyers with information. The base is very heavy, looks solid. The spool holder is all metal. A small box with accessories and tools. We pull out the frame of the printer. More in the box there is nothing. Let's see what's included. Power cable, 8 GB SD card with USB adapter. It has all the necessary information on how to build and configure the printer as well as the software. A small set of fasteners. Warranty card. Only 4 hex keys. Clips for fastening glass to the table. Spare nozzle with a diameter of 0.4 mm. USB cable to connect the printer to the computer. And protection for cable. Remove the packaging film. This is important information. On the right side of the base is a USB port, 2 slots for the frame, holes for additional mounting of the frame, and 3 connectors for wires. The front panel has a touch screen and an SD card slot. On the left side there is a slots and holes for mounting the frame as well as the output wires for the heating table. The back panel has a power button and power connector. Power of 300 watts. The linear guides are well lubricated. Movement on the Z-axis is carried out by means of 2 ball screws and 2 engines. I recommend that you wipe all the guides with a paper towel and remove all the dust, then lubricate. Remove packaging materials. I am glad that everything is neatly organized, all the wires in braids and corrugations, fastened with clamps to the frame and nothing is dangling anywhere. Very high tech. Engineers are great. I also noticed that all the detachable connections are fixed with thermal glue for reliable contact. Just a delight. Now about the shortcomings. The frame is made of thin metal with a thickness of 1.3 mm and is not very rigid structure. But in general, when the base is connected to the frame, stability and stiffness increases, which is enough for a good print. All the same, during operation of the printer is not experiencing lateral loads. Found a slight bend in this crossbar on the right side. Straighten the deformation. Now you can start assembling. The slots of the main unit must be aligned with the frame. It's easy. Fasten the frame to the base on both sides, but not to the end. Now turn the printer on its side and from the bottom fasten the frame to the main body with 4 large screws. Just need to make sure that the power supply is set to the desired voltage. Make sure that the frame is perpendicular to the surface of the table and tighten the side screws. Connect the frame to the main unit. Probably during a failed transportation bend the mount motor extruder. This will not affect the performance of the printer, but still I straightened it a little with my hand. Fasten the spool holder with 3 screws. The design of the printer is of course cool. We mount protection belt. Loosen the screws securing the table and gently pull out the seal. Tearing the film off the screen is a special moment. The Bowden extruder is installed here. In the A5S version the motor is moved to the top of the printer to reduce the length of the filament tube. This should make the retracts more accurate and improve the print quality. The print head is very compact and lightweight, allowing you to print at higher speeds. Cooling fans hot end and model are quite noisy. Blowout model normal, but the unilateral and it may be insufficient for subtle elements of the model. Over time, it is better to replace the airflow system. Install a powerful cooler and print another air duct. Connect the power cable and turn on the printer. Immediately check the firmware version. The first thing you need to make sure the correct operation of the access and end stop switch. The X-axis is fine. Y-axis is fine too. But the Z-axis does not react. Have to disassemble the printer and show you what's inside. Turn off the printer and pull out the power cable. Unscrew the 3 screws holding the lid. Next you need to hang the front legs of the printer from the table and unscrew them. Don't do what I do. Gently push the upper part of the body on itself. It is necessary that the outer protective film smoothly detached from the screen. Also, the front panel must disengage from the base of the housing. Put something soft between the frame and the table. You need a rope to hang the top part, so it will be easier to work. Inside is also an order. All wires are marked and fixed with ties. Power supply 24 volts, 15 amps. This is a display board with a card reader. Unlike the previous version of the printer, A5S has a motherboard with a 32-bit microprocessor, which will increase the speed of data processing. In this card integrated motor drivers A5984 that provide a more quiet operation of the motors. Connection of wires is organized through a separate board. It's very convenient. Here it is extended so as not to interfere with the power supply wires. Now back to the Axis Z. Only move the Y connector. Plug it back in. It should be alright now. While disassembled, you can immediately check the belt tension and tighten if necessary. Also, check the guides for grease and dust and service accordingly. Mounts of the end switches Y and Z axis are printed on a 3D printer. The Y-axis motor connector is also fixed by glue. Untie the rope and assemble the body. Well, the axis moves to the home position. The Z-axis guides are quite pliable and you may need to print a couple of parts to stabilize. First, you can print on blue tape and then remove it and print on the glass. Calibrate the table. Click on the first point, take a sheet of A4 and using the adjusting screw to ensure that it passes between the nozzle and the table with a small resistance. Then the second, third and fourth points. Then repeat the circle. You may have to do this several times and only then check the gap at the fifth point. If you need to adjust the level of the limit switch, then there are special holes for this. However, such a long key is not included. It will take some skill to do it from the side. The filament holder is designed for spools with a thickness of not more than 74 mm. But there are bigger coils. You can hang them, but not very reliable. For thicker coils I came up with something, and will show in one of the following videos. Then upload the plastic. This is very easy to do. Insert the thread into the hole until it stops. From the menu, select Set, then Change. Press in. The printer will start heating the nozzle to about 190 degrees. Then the automatic uploading of the plastic will begin. In the beginning you need to push it a little with your hand to the feeding gear hooked it. After a while, molten plastic will come out of the nozzle. If this does not happen, then in the printer menu you need to press Extrude. Select the feed, speed and press in button until the plastic appears from the nozzle. This temperature is only suitable for PLA plastic. If you need to load for example ABS, then you need to preheat the nozzle to a temperature of 240 degrees. Everything is ready. Now you can start printing. I chose a calibration model on the SD card. While print will say a few words about the touch screen. The screen is very contrast and sensitive. The menu is intuitive. I did not like the display of file names. Only the first few letters are shown. All information except speed is displayed during printing. To view or change it, you need to make a few clicks in the menu. The main disadvantage of the touch screen is that it is impossible to quickly change the print speed. The encoder does it in a second, and here you need to poke the screen several times. Touch screen display is very convenient in daily use. The print area of the printer. Each side of the bed is 310 mm. The bed heats up to 70 degrees in 5 minutes. Overall, the model turned out pretty good. Stacking of the layers smooth, but there is a small extension of the detail at the corners. Perhaps the reason in the plastic or in the settings. I'll show you the platform. This is a black heat-resistant glass with a special coating to which all kinds of plastic stick. Just wiped with alcohol and you can print. The thickness of the aluminum bed is 2 mm and the glass is 4 mm. Clamp it. I failed to calibrate the table perfectly. Standard A4 sheet has a thickness of 0.1 mm. Here are the values I got. That's normal. The maximum permissible error is 0.3 mm. I printed the calibration model. First layer thickness 0.2 mm. Speed 15 mm per second. If there are very small details, like here, the best speed to put even less. While the bed is hot, the item is hard to tear off. When cooled, the model is easily separated. The lower surface is obtained a very beautiful and shiny. For my experiment I put 3 mm glass on the table. I was able to calibrate it almost to perfection. The printer is quiet. The sound of the engines is very quiet, thanks to the new drivers. Fans are noisy, but this is sure can be solved. The most unpleasant sound is the rattling when the carriage moves along the X-axis. I tried to lubricate the linear bearings, but it did not help. I've already been sent new bearings. maybe print a new bushings? What do you think? Now check the work of the filament runout detection. Then the printer prints, and all of a sudden, out of plastic. If we don't feed the new filament, the extruder should stop heating in an hour. The printer beeps and displays a message. Click change and then click out. After that, the remains of plastic will come out. The sensor is a conventional limit switch. And what do you do next, you know. The printer returns to the end point of the print. Press start, and the printing will continue. Now I will check the function of resuming printing after the power failure. The printer asks, "Do you want to resume printing?" Press yes. Great, it's working. Some examples of printing. This fisherman printed with speed less than 10 mm per second using support. The model is cool. Now I'll show you his boat. No, it's not Bench's boat. Printed at 100 mm per second. Small details turned out not very well. The rest of the model printed perfectly. Sum up. 3D printer JGAurora A5S prints directly from the box, and the print is pretty good. I tried to tell you about all pros and cons of this printer, which managed to find. More information will be in the description. Make a decision about the purchase, of course you. A link to the printer will live in the description below this video. When you buy something through my links, you are very helped the development of my channel. Thank you very much. The creation of the video took more than a week, and I will be glad if you rate this movie and write a comment. And I would be happy if this video was useful for you. If you want to support me, you can do so via the links in the description. See you in the next videos. Good luck. Bye.